Okay, so we're diving into Stephen Covey's The 7 Habits.
Oh, a classic.
Right. It's been a bestseller for decades for a reason.
Definitely. Timeless stuff.
And it's about way more than just, ticking off to-do lists.
It gets to the core of, I think, living a fulfilling life.
Exactly. And we're taking what we've learned from this podcast episode we listened to.
Yeah. Breaking down Covey's wisdom.
And trust me, this isn't about those quick fix life hacks.
No, no, no.
This is about a fundamental shift in thinking that can really impact
how you approach, well, everything.
I love how Covey starts right off the bat challenging this idea of,
Fake it till you make it.
Yes. He's like, hold on. Lasting success, that doesn't come from some surface-level personality trick.
It comes from building a solid inner character.
Yes. It's about who you are at your core.
He calls it the difference between the personality ethic.
Yeah, personality ethic versus the character ethic.
Right, right.
And to really drive this home, he shares the story about his own daughter.
Oh, I love his anecdotes.
Yeah, and it's so relatable. He was trying to get her to share her toys.
Oh, the classic parenting struggle.
Right. But nothing was working. And then he had this realization.
Yes,
He was so focused on his own agenda, you need to share, that he hadn't stopped to see things from her perspective.
Oh, that's so powerful, isn't it?
It is. Covey realized that real change started with him, with shifting his own perspective first.
And that leads to, I think, one of the most impactful ideas in the book.
Paradigm shifts.
Yes.
Yeah.
Paradigms, right. They're like these mental maps we carry around in our heads.
They really shape how we see the world.
And sometimes those maps totally leading us in the wrong direction.
Into a ditch. Remember that famous visual illusion, the one of the women who can be seen as either young or old?
Oh, yeah, yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Covey uses that to show how our paradigms can play tricks on us.
We get so stuck seeing one thing.
We totally miss the other perspective.
And that's the key. Covey's arguing that to truly change, we need to challenge these ingrained thinking patterns.
These paradigms.
Exactly. Tweaking our attitudes and behaviors on the surface. That's not enough.
It's like tending to the roots of a tree.
Not just trimming the branches, right?
Exactly. So how do we dig down to those roots? What does that even look like in our everyday lives?
Covey suggests building our lives around timeless principles.
Okay.
Those fundamental values like honesty, integrity, fairness.
Like our guiding stars.
Yes, they're constant. And when we align our actions with them,
We're going to navigate life with much more effectiveness.
much more. It's about finding that solid ground to stand on.
Something deeper, more enduring.
More enduring than the ever-changing whims of the world around us, yeah.
It's about living with intention and integrity.
And that, my friend, is the core of the principle-centered paradigm.
Principle-centered living.
It's a powerful idea, right?
It is, but what does it actually look like?
Yeah, how do we actually put those principles into practice, make them work for us?
Yeah.
Day to day.
Exactly.
That's where the 7 habits come in.
Okay.
They're like practical tools,
I like that.
strategies for applying those principles in our lives. And, it's a journey
Yeah.
from dependence to independence and then ultimately to interdependence.
So it's like climbing a staircase.
Yeah, exactly.
We're not just aiming for self-sufficiency, but for something even bigger.
You got it. Interdependence.
This idea of interdependence.
Recognizing that we can achieve so much more when we collaborate.
Yeah.
When we leverage each other's strengths, work together towards common goals.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
Right.
But before we jump into the individual habits,
Yes.
there's this other big idea that I want to make sure we unpack.
Okay.
PTC balance,
Ah, yes.
the goose and the golden egg. What's the deal with that?
So, Covey uses this metaphor
Uh,
to illustrate the importance of sustainability
okay,
in our achievements.
I like that.
The golden eggs, those represent the results we want in life, right?
The promotions, the creative breakthroughs, the accomplishments.
Exactly. But the goose, that represents our capacity to produce those results.
Okay.
Our well-being, our skills, our energy.
Got it.
We can't keep pushing for more eggs
Right.
without taking care of the goose.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, you burn yourself out chasing those golden eggs.
You got it.
You end up with nothing but a tired, depleted goose.
Precisely.
Yeah.
PPC balance is about finding that sweet spot
Yeah.
between production, so getting things done,
Yeah.
and production capability.
Okay.
Nurturing our ability to keep achieving.
So it's like playing the long game,
Yes.
not just these like short-term wins.
Right. It's about investing in ourselves.
Yeah.
So we can keep showing up fully without burning out.
Without burning out, yeah. Making those choices that support our long-term well-being.
Exactly.
not just our like immediate gratification.
And this applies to every area of life.
Oh, I bet.
Our work, our relationships, our personal growth.
Yeah.
It's about making choices that support, like we said, our long-term well-being.
Not just our immediate gratification.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm starting to see how all these pieces fit together.
Yeah.
The character ethic, paradigm shifts,
Right.
principle-centered living,
It's all connected.
PPC balance.
It is.
It's like laying the foundation
Yes.
for a really solid, well-built life.
Absolutely. And with that foundation in place,
Yeah.
we're ready to explore the 7 habits themselves.
Okay.
Those practical steps we can take to build a life of effectiveness and fulfillment.
I'm ready.
And guess what? It all starts with habit 1. Be proactive.
Be proactive. It sounds so simple,
Right.
but it's probably the one I struggle with most, to be honest.
It's easy to feel like, we're at the mercy of our circumstances.
Like things just happen to us.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
But Covey says, hold on, we have way more agency than we think.
Yeah.
Being proactive is about recognizing that we always have a choice.
So it's about taking responsibility, not playing the victim.
100%. It's
Wow.
about focusing on what you can control.
That circle of influence.
Yes. Instead of getting bogged down by all the things you can't.
The circle of concern.
That's it. Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. Instead of just reacting, we're responding
Yes.
with intention.
With intention. And you know what? Here's a little trick Covey suggests.
Okay. I'm all ears.
Pay attention to the language you use.
Okay.
Instead of saying, I have to do this,
Yeah. I do that all the time.
try saying, I choose to do this.
Oh, interesting. It's subtle.
It is.
But it's like it shifts you
It's a shift.
from that feeling of obligation to like a sense of empowerment.
Yes, exactly. Words have power.
They do. They do. Speaking of, how about habit 2? Begin with the end in mind.
Oh, I love this one.
This one always makes me think of like long-term visioning, you know?
It's about defining what matters most to you,
Yeah.
clarifying those core values.
Okay.
That will then guide your decisions, your actions. And you know what? Covey has this exercise he calls the funeral exercise.
The funeral exercise. Okay. That sounds a little intense.
It's about perspective.
Okay.
Imagine your own funeral.
Oh, well.
What would people say about you?
Oh, that is kind of deep.
It might sound a little morbid,
It does, a little bit.
but it's a powerful way to connect with your deepest values.
And then use them as a guiding force
Exactly.
in your life. Wow. When you put it that way, it's not morbid. It's profound.
It is. And so often we get caught up in the day-to-day, but we forget to ask those big picture questions.
About purpose, meaning.
Exactly. And that leads beautifully into habit 3, put first things first.
Oh.
Because
okay.
once you're clear on those big picture values,
Yeah.
you can then start making choices that align with them.
It's about like being intentional with your time and energy.
Yes. And this is where Covey's time management matrix comes in.
Oh, yes. I've heard about this.
Have you?
Yes, but break it down for me.
Okay, so it's a simple but brilliant tool for visualizing how we spend our time.
Okay.
He divides tasks into 4 quadrants based on urgency and importance.
Okay, got it.
The key is to focus on quadrant 2 activities,
Which are?
the ones that are important but not urgent.
Okay, so like planning for the future, building relationships, finally working on that like passion project you're putting off.
Exactly. Those are the things that often get pushed aside
Because they're not urgent.
because they're not urgent in the moment.
Yeah, yeah.
But they're the things that ultimately lead to the most fulfilling life.
It's about playing that long game again.
Yes.
Just like with the PPC balance.
It's all connected.
It is. It's so interesting how these habits like build on each other. They
It
do
is.
work
They
together
do.
to create this like upward spiral of growth and effectiveness.
100%. And speaking of interconnectedness,
Okay.
let's talk about habit 4, think win-win.
Oh, win-win, yes. I love this one. It's about like finding solutions that benefit everyone involved.
Yes.
Not just trying to like come out on top.
And you know what's interesting?
Oh.
Covey suggests that having a no-deal option
Okay.
can actually make us better collaborators.
Wait, really? How does that work?
Because when we're not desperate to win at all costs,
Yeah.
we can be more open
Yeah?
and honest in our interactions. We can walk away from a deal
Yeah.
if it's not truly mutually beneficial.
That makes sense. It's about knowing your worth.
Yes.
And what you bring to the table.
Absolutely.
It's about creating abundance, not just like dividing up the pie.
100%.
Uh-huh.
And when we approach negotiations with that abundance mentality,
Mhm.
we're much more likely to find creative solutions that benefit everyone.
That benefit everyone, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're thinking win-win.
Right.
We're entering these collaborations with like a spirit of abundance.
Yeah.
What's the next step? In building truly effective relationships.
It might seem obvious,
Okay.
but it's often overlooked.
Yeah.
Habit 5, seek first to understand,
Yes.
then to be understood.
It's so easy to just like jump in with our own opinions.
Oh, isn't it?
Right.
Yeah.
But Covey's saying, hold on, take a breath, really listen.
Listen with the intent to understand,
Yes.
not just to respond.
Oh, that's good.
Put yourself in the other person's shoes.
Yeah.
Try to see the world through their eyes.
Empathy.
Exactly. It creates a foundation of respect and empathy.
It's like building this bridge of understanding.
Yes.
And that takes us to habit 6, synergize.
Ah.
Yes.
Now, this one always sounded a little, I don't know, corporate jargony to me.
Oh, right.
But it's actually a really cool concept.
It is.
When you really think about it.
When you break it down, it's about recognizing that, the whole is greater than the sum of its parts.
And the sum of its parts. It's like
a jazz band.
Yes, exactly.
Right. Each musician has their own, unique styles.
Right.
But when they come together and they improvise,
Magic.
something magical happens.
Synergy is about embracing those differences, valuing those diverse perspectives,
Yeah.
and then using that creative tension to come up with innovative solutions.
Oh, that none of us could have come up with on our own.
Exactly.
I love that analogy. It makes synergy feel exciting and not just like a buzzword. Okay, we've covered 6 habits.
We're on the home stretch.
What's number 7?
Habit 7 ties it all together.
Okay.
Sharpen the saw.
Okay.
This is about taking care of yourself.
Oh, I like this one.
Physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually.
All of it.
So you can show up as the best, most effective version of yourself.
Because you can't pour from an empty cup, right?
You can't.
You have to, prioritize your own well-being.
Yes.
If you want to have the energy, the resilience to, pursue your goals.
Right, to show up for others.
And it's about recognizing that different things sharpen the saw for different people.
100%. For you, it might be hiking in nature.
Yeah.
For someone else, it might be reading a good book.
Right, right. The key is to just, find what nourishes you.
Yes.
And make it a priority.
You make it a priority. It's like PPC balance.
Oh, yeah.
But on a personal level.
It's that sustainability for the long haul.
Yes.
Making sure we don't burn ourselves out.
Yes. Covey emphasizes that this renewal needs to happen in all 4 dimensions of our being.
Yeah.
Physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual.
Yeah, yeah.
Neglecting one area will eventually impact the others.
It's about finding that, sweet spot, that balance in all areas of life.
And that, my friend, is the essence of the 7 habits.
I love it.
It's about cultivating character, aligning with those principles, and consistently making choices that move us towards a life of effectiveness, fulfillment, and meaningful contribution.
As we've been talking about these habits, I've been thinking about how they apply not just to, our individual lives, but to larger systems, organizations, communities, even society as a whole.
It's interesting you say that.
Yeah.
Because Covey mainly focuses on personal and interpersonal effectiveness.
Yeah.
But what if these habits were the guiding principles for our institutions, our businesses?
Oh, I love that.
Our governments.
Imagine a world where win-win thinking wasn't just, a nice idea.
Right.
But the foundation for how we do business.
Imagine.
Right. Where leaders genuinely sought to understand different perspectives before making decisions.
It's inspiring to think about the possibilities.
It really is. And it reminds us that the 7 habits aren't just about personal success. They're about creating a better world for everyone.
For everyone.
And that change, that starts with each of us.
Absolutely. By embodying these habits in our own lives, we become living examples of a different way of being.
Yes.
We create that ripple effect that can inspire those around us.
So if you want to see more understanding, more collaboration, more win-win solutions in the world, start by living those principles yourself.
Be the change.
Be the change.
Yes.
It all comes back to that proactive mindset.
Well said.
Well, that about wraps up our deep dive into the 7 habits of highly effective people. We hope this has given you some food for thought, some practical tools, and maybe even a little inspiration to start applying these principles in your own life.
To more effective living.
To more effective living. Until next time, keep those saws sharp.
Sharpen the saw.